everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be sharing a little flip through of my August and September 2019 Traveler's Notebooks. There's a lot to share, so I'm not going to talk too much because we want to get through these pretty quickly. Let's start with August. What turned out to be really simple. I was kind of behind and I just wanted to kind of catch up, so I tried to keep most of my layouts pretty simple and neat. This is journal number 33, and my first spread I documented my daughter getting a new guitar, and I used my white, what is it called, Posco pen to add a little something to her photo. I also used a stamp set from Studio Calico and added these little punched out circles and hexagons and things like that. Now, when I created this, I was totally imagining something else. I had actually punched out all of these little shapes and thought I would kind of back it up with ephemera and things like that and stamped out images and whatever, but it didn't work out. But I still like it. I think it looks pretty cool, and I just love the black and white with the peachy color pink. It looks just really neat. Next up, I was documenting my kids going back to school, and now I have a 9th grader and a senior, which is crazy. Freshman and senior all at once. So I just kept it simple. I used my color cast design wood veneers, and this was, I foiled this out with my Spellbinders plates with my Glimmer Hot Foil machine and added Sabine and Lace First Day, keeping it simple again. I love using large photos in my traveler's notebook. I do have a process video for this one where I was documenting my daughter getting her, I think it was her 5th grade letter. So their 5th grade teacher let them write a letter to themselves, and then he mailed it out while they were freshmen, which was awesome. He's such a great teacher. I just journaled about that and used my Feature Craft stamp set, and now I can't even remember the name of that stamp set, but anything I mention, I'll link it down in the description box. It's a great little stamp set to document letters, journals, if you write your own journal and things like that, or diaries. And then I used a color cast design acrylic. Now again, I'm documenting my daughter in high school now and a freshman. I kept it pretty simple. I usually add, my 4x8 on one side and my journaling on the other, but I wanted to change it up a little bit and keep some space to add my title. So I just added freshman and a little acetate, also added my journaling and how old she was when she was a freshman, and just kept it pretty simple. I believe I used my Studio Calico Traveler's Notebook kit to create this, so I think I stuck to my kit and maybe my subscription stamp set at the moment. When we are out and about and I have taken loads of photos, I like to document all those photos on one spread. Multiple photo spreads are one of my favorites, and when I find a pattern in my traveler's notebook that has little blocks or squares or whatever the case is, I try to measure or size my photos to fit into those blocks, and I really always love the outcome. So we were out and about that weekend. I wanted to document all the photos, so that's what I did. And I love that the little squares had like favorite people, favorite memories, so I went with that. I used my Feature Craft kit and stamp set. I think that's the weekend stamp set, if I'm not mistaken, and used the stamp set to create my own embellishments, added a little journaling card, kind of embellished it a little bit and called it done. And these types of layouts always turn out to be my favorite. By the way, if I'm like out of breath, it's because I have had like a cold for the past few days and I'm still like recovering. So that's why I'm always out of breath at the moment. But anyways, I'm documenting my son mascotting. It's not the best photo, but I will still document it because I wasn't there at the time and that's the photo he sent me. So I'm going with it. I just ended up using a journaling card and a puffy sticker. Don't know where I got that puffy sticker from, but it's an old one. So I'm going to use it. And just added little tidbits of journaling about like when he mascots and stuff like that. Another large photo of my siblings and I, keeping it simple. I used a Carrie Bradford stamp set. I love that stamp set. And I just stamped Wild Love. It's all in the attitude, because when we're together, there's a lot of attitudes, there's a lot of love, and that stamp set represents my siblings. Added a 5 for us 5, and then Always Together. These are, I believe, from Colorcast Design. Again, another large photo, but this time around I trimmed it out. There was a lot of clutter and I really wanted to add some journaling, so I'm okay with trimming it out. I also used my Posco white pen to add something around us and stamped out Better Together, added my journaling, and kept it simple. I believe those are probably Kelly Perky stamps. Documenting my son marching band, and I didn't even add any journaling. I think because I document him a lot in my traveler's notebooks while he's marching. So really, I don't always have something to say. I journal a lot about him, so it's okay if I just document the photo. And I just used a 3x4 card, trimmed it out, and added it with my go here and there. This was obviously a part of the pattern, keeping it simple again. We lost my grandmother in August, and she's such a beautiful soul. I really, sometimes when we lose someone, I really don't want to write much in my traveler's notebook. I just want to document their photo. And that's okay, because I definitely journaled about it in my daily journal. So all I did was use some alpha stamps and stamped out Always, and then Thinking of You. These are from Kelly Perky, and the little chipboard heart, it represents my love for my grandmother. I do have a process video for this one. I trimmed out all these little frames, the centers of the frames, added photos of my adorable niece, and a little bit of embellishing from my kit. I added I Adore You. Love this spread so much. It really did not take me long to create. It actually took me longer to trim out these frames, but this is one of my favorites from my August Traveler's Notebook. Documenting what I'm listening to at the time. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love documenting what I'm listening to, reading, watching, all that good stuff. I used Studio Calico's music stamp set, and I stamped out a bunch of things from that stamp set, like the Music Lover soundtrack of my life, and just documented my favorite songs on some vellum and called it done. I used the stamp set again to add my title, and then just added my jam with the alpha stickers that came with the kit. Summer is almost over. It was still warm, so we were still going to the pool. I used Kelly Perky's swag bag, summer swag bag, to add the little card that came in the swag bag. Love those cards. I think that one was my favorite swag bag from Kelly Perky, and added a few puffy stickers around it. I also trimmed out my photo because the pattern on the Traveler's Notebook had the Today's Adventure and This Happened. I didn't want to cover it, and it actually had this as well. So I didn't want to cover those, so I trimmed my photo to fit into those boxes. I really love how that turned out. I also used my stamp set to stamp around the edge of the pool. Another favorite from my August Traveler's Notebook. I love this photo of my daughter and niece. They are so cute. And my niece loves my daughter. She's like one of her favorite people. What I did was I used one of the 3x4 cards from that swag bag, from Kelly Perky's swag bag, and I trimmed the corners, added the corners to my photo, my 4x8 photo, just added a little something to my photo. And this was a part of the pattern paper from the Traveler's Notebook, the You Are Here. All I did was stamp out this part, which said A Day Well Spent, added my journaling, a little chipboard, called it done. I just love this photo and this spread. Very simple. As you can see, my August Traveler's Notebook was really simple. I didn't go all out. There was a few layouts in here that I did, but I always recommend that don't feel like you have to go all out to document your photos and your memories. Anyways, let's move on to September. Okay, so let's check out September. This is journal number 34. And I was documenting fall around the corner, you guys. we were feeling it. The trees were losing their leaves. So I used my Kelly Perky kit and added some journaling, stamped out autumn. I trimmed out my photo. So what I did was I kind of played around with my pick frame app, and I created a little collage of one photo. So I made 3 collages, or 3 photos of one photo. That's what I'm trying to say. And I thought it was fun to be able to tuck my leaves because I stamped those out as well from the stamp set. And I just love that. I need to do that again because it looks pretty cool, I think. Every September, we go to our state fair, and it's one of our favorite things to do every year. Again, loads of photos. I just didn't want to end up with, filling out my traveler's notebook with fair photos, if that makes sense. So I try to use as many as I can on one spread. I used a 4x8, which I took to my typewriter and added my journaling, stamped out State Fair. This stamp set is from Kelly Perky. It's a fair stamp set, and I love that stamp set. It's one of my favorites. And I just used that stamp set to add little embellishing here and there. As you can see, just by sizing my photos the right way, I was able to add 5 photos on the opposite side of my page. Love this layout. There's a lot of color just from my photos, so I really didn't have to add much. I do have a process video for this spread where I trimmed out my coffee cup because I wanted to be able to tuck in my leaves. And I really love these leaves. They came in the Studio Calico kit. And I just, right away when I saw the leaves, I was like, this is perfect to document my coffee cup. I was documenting my love for coffee, and I was also documenting that it's fall and I'm still wearing shorts because it was still warm. So I used the pattern which said it's fall, y'all, and then used those leaves to kind of tuck behind my coffee cup, add some layering, and I just love how this one turned out. My niece also loves my husband very, very much. She loves my kids and my husband so, so much. And when they're around, she just never leaves them alone. And it's just adorable. So I snapped this photo. I just used, I think this was from one of the patterns in this traveler's notebook. And I cut it out and used it to add a background for my little wood veneer, and just tucked a little flower, keeping it simple. I also added those strips, some of them on the bottom part, and added XOXO just to bring in some of the pink to the opposite side. I think this looks really adorable. And I think I trimmed out that paper because I was doing something else with that paper, and this was the leftovers, so I used it on the spread. I do believe I have a process video for this one. I was using scrapbook.com stamp sets, and what I did here was I stamped the XOXO, and I wanted to add my journaling, but I added it on a tag, and obviously I don't have a lot of space, so I trimmed down my tag. I was able to add my journaling, so I kind of did this little, my title in the center of my journaling, and I think it looks pretty cool. I also used my Posco pen to add some rays around my funnel cake, just to emphasize my love for funnel cake, and stamp that love also from scrapbook.com's stamp sets. I was lucky enough to be the guest designer for Citrus Twist that month, and it was such an adorable little kit. What I did was I was documenting us, watching my son march on a Friday night, and we are definitely his cheer squad. And I wanted to kind of emphasize the title. And that kit came with these beautiful thickers, the glittery thickers. So I used that to add cheer squad on the side, used my 3 photos, just embellished it with some of the embellishments from the kit, added my journaling on a 3x4 card, stamped grateful for us. Very adorable. I really love the colors from that kit, and that pattern paper is just gorgeous. Again, another 3 photo layout. If you can tell, I love my 3 photos, my little square photos, especially when there's a lot to document from one moment. This was from one day. We got to spend some time with friends. Love these photos, love these people. Added my journaling on my pattern paper. This is all from Kelly Perky, and just stamped out my chosen family because they really are my chosen family. Added a little bit of green. I always recommend this. Go with 3 colors on your spread and choose that third one to kind of pop a little bit. So I have the purple, the pink, and that green just pops, adds the perfect color to my spread. Documenting my sister, bestie, and I going to see Phil Collins live. It was the best show, you guys. I can't even explain it. I used the Ton Stamps stamps to document this photo. Added my journaling on my 3x4 card. By the way, we all wore the same t-shirt. We do that all the time when we go to concerts together. Just stamped out Hello Phil Collins and added that live from my stash. But I love the flowers. These are all from the Ton Stamp, and I believe the background as well. I stamped out those little polka dots from one of the stamps from the Ton Stamp. Really love this spread. My son got his driver's license. At the moment, I didn't know if I should cry or I should be happy. This really freaks me out, him driving. But anyways, I added this photo. It was a 4x8, but I trimmed it down a little bit. I like to trim down my 4x8 sometimes just to be able to add some pattern paper behind it, or maybe a title or something like that. I used this acrylic piece from Colorcast Design that says Wicked Awesome. Added my journaling on a 3x4 card. I believe this is from Studio Calico, and just stamped out the little car, keeping it simple. Sometimes the photo will tell the story. You really don't have to add a lot to, document your picture and your story. Okay, guys, I don't know if you were fans of 90210 growing up, but I was. My sisters were. We were huge fans. Like there was that time of the week where nobody was allowed to touch the TV. It was our time. We would sit down and watch 90210, and my brothers would make fun of us. So those are memories I cherish so, so much. And 90210 did a reunion in August, so of course I watched it. It wasn't the best, but I still watched it because it really brought back so many memories. So I wanted to journal about it, wanted to document it. I added 2 photos of before and after of the cast, added 90210, my journaling, and wrote and stamped out excited, #1 fan. Love this. Love that they did a reunion. It really, really brought back so many different memories. I mean, a bunch of high schoolers in high school back in the day, you didn't have like shows like that. So it was really, really exciting. Anyways, I am still documenting fall. I used my Glimmer Hot foil machine to foil up these pumpkins. They're just so adorable. I used different types of cardstock in different colors, and then just added a little bit of journaling and some little embellishments here and there. This is actually another favorite of mine in my September Traveler's Notebook. It's just so simple, and the photo is simple. I'm literally just documenting what I added to bring in fall to our home, and I just love that foil machine. It adds so much foiling and prettiness. Look at that. It's so pretty. Documenting this beautiful photo of the gorgeous sky, I used some acrylic pieces from Colorcast Design. This was a part of the pattern, just filled out that pattern, a few little like word stickers and sentiments, and called it done. Documenting a 4x8 photo of my son and my daughter's best friend. These two are hilarious, by the way. He literally grew up with my kids. Anyways, they were just being silly and kind of striking a pose kind of thing and popping it. So I just added pop it like it's hot, added a few little stamps, just kind of break down the pattern a little bit on the opposite side, brought in some of the purple from my photo, added a bit of journaling. These stamp sets are from Kelly Perky, and the alpha stamp sets are from Kelly Perky. I just thought that, because the background of the photo looked kind of like my pattern, so that's why I chose that pattern to go with my photo. Documenting my cousins coming for a visit from overseas, and I love this photo, so I made sure that I used a large one and just used some of my Studio Calico stamp sets and stamped out weekend stories, added my journaling on vellum, keeping it simple, added a few little embellishments here and there. This one's actually a stamp set, and I just added embellishment in the center. So next up, my daughter and I always go to Target and try on all the costumes in September. So that's why I'm documenting kind of Halloween in September. And I just used my Studio Calico Halloween stamp set. I stamped a bunch of different things. I also used my crepe paper puffy stickers. I forgot the name of that collection, but it's adorable. I used some color cast design wood veneers. I just played with it. I didn't have like any idea what I was doing. I just wanted to stamp from that stamp set. It's so cute. And I wanted to add some puffy stickers. So I just went with it. I had fun. I really like how it turned out. Last but not least, I took this photo in September of myself. I wanted to change my profile picture, and basically I just took a picture in front of my wreath. Like this is in front of my door, and it turned out really cool. I didn't want to focus on the wreath, if that made sense, but then it looked like a crown, so I went with it, and I think it turned out pretty neat. And obviously because the focus was my photo, so I chose to just add believe and shine on the opposite side, again keeping it simple, and that was part of the pattern, the flower, and it just matched really well. Love how it turned out. I was able to document my new profile photo and finish my September traveler's notebook. That's about it, you guys. I really had fun with my August and September traveler's notebooks. Hopefully I'll be able to share October and November and December very, very soon. I'm almost done with those. But don't forget, I will link anything I mentioned down in the description box for you guys if they are still available. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.